Ja hoor.
Killing minutes.
I think we're ready.
I follow you.
Oh, we're
I'm
ready.
wearing a Batman beanie.
But you're...
Huh?
We're ready.
Go then, if we're ready.
Hey guys, welcome back to Liz and Dan's review something. On last week's episode, nothing happened.
Yeah, no.
When was the last time we did one of these?
Hiatus. I think it was sometime mid last year.
What was the last one we did?
Conjuring?
Conjuring? Yeah.
I have to actually look physically. I don't remember. We've done 3.
We did do 3. Oh, ABCs of Death.
The last one was the ABCs of Death, which
And
was
Last
that
Exorcism.
like super long ass one. So we did the Last Exorcism, part 1 and 2, Conjuring, and then the ABCs of Death.
Yeah.
So.
And now we're going to do 2 different random ones that don't really belong together, but we're putting them together.
Just because I feel like the first one's not gonna have a whole lot. From me, probably him more than me, just because I wasn't too. Holy crap, great movie.
Yeah.
It's really hot in here.
Yeah,
Did I put the air on?
Yeah. But first,
Oh, please, no.
our first review is going to be the Banshee Chapter.
Okay, can I please? It's really hot.
Cue the intro thingy-majig. Alright, so the Banshee Chapter, directed by We Have No Idea, starring We Have No Idea. No, I actually do. Ted Levine is in it. He's the guy who's
Yeah.
I'm Ted Levine. Alright,
From the
Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs. I can't remember his character's
Put
name.
the lotion on the skin.
What's his name in that?
Right in front of me. I don't know. I haven't really seen that in any sort of consistent manner. I've only seen parts of that
Buffalo
movie.
Bill.
Buffalo Bill, that is
There you
absolutely
go.
true.
So he was the only real, like, actual actor, like, known actor for
Yeah.
this entire movie.
I think the performances in general were pretty good, though, for people I didn't really recognize.
For being an indie film and kind of between found footage and non-found footage, I thought it was going to be stupider than usual, but it was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Acting-wise.
Yeah, it wasn't found footage a whole lot. That's what I liked about it.
But it wasn't even obvious found footage either.
Yeah. Because it would switch between her camera and then actual like movie and stuff like that. Jesus, Fisher.
That's the Banshee.
He acts like we're like starving him or something out there.
Secretly.
Soon, music box is gonna start playing on one of the computer speakers.
Oh, good.
What would happen? What would we do if that happened?
Run.
She's like on.
Well, one of us would turn to each other and
5.
like all of a sudden have a weird, stupid, retarded face.
7. Come back.
And 1.
Come
CO2.
Please come back.
H2O.
Anyway, do we want to give like a mini plot synopsis of the movie?
I don't know how.
It was okay. So
I don't know the plot.
it was
really.
pretty much a guy was researching government experiments with mind control drugs and stuff like that.
And it came from Colorado.
And he got a sample from a friend or friends in Colorado, and took it, and something horrible happened. He disappeared. His friend survived, but the cops couldn't get anything out of him. And
I thought he died at the back end of that.
Who?
Like his friend disappeared or something. I don't know. I was like,
I think
half
his friend did end up disappearing after he was like questioned by the cops, but
Wait, makes sense.
and then this young British investigative journalist who was a friend of the kid who disappeared originally, starts like digging around, and that's pretty much the synopsis of the movie. And maybe she gets in too deep. But it started off found footage and kind of.
Yeah, but that was like Paranormal Activity found footage. And then like when it comes to her found footage, it looks so normal. It doesn't even look like footage. It's like, why did you even bother?
Yeah, it just switches between her camera where she's
Exactly.
doing like a testimonial kind of thing. I know, it was interesting throughout. I thought it was keeping me interested, but I don't think it had a good payoff.
I don't think it had a good payoff either. Personally though, I was half asleep.
Yeah.
I started dozing, so like you're like, oh my god, there's a guy in the mirror. I'm like, I missed it. Sorry. Like, one of the monsters, I think you said it was, like, Half-Life.
Yeah, it looked like the head crab, because the way it walked was like...
It was retarded. It didn't get it at all. And the faces that were supposed to be scary, only one of them got me, and that was because I wasn't expecting him.
They did, like, After Effects demon faces in that movie. Like, it was like...
The woman at the back end...
That looked nasty.
She looked like she had just had a stroke. Like, really.
It just looked like those demon face videos on YouTube where people just like... Like, it just looks stupid.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of that movie I showed you that's making fun of, like, Ghost Adventures.
Oh, yeah, you just showed me the intro
Grave
of that.
Encounters, yeah. That's kind of what it reminds me of, because they do the same thing. They have, like, random demon faces everywhere.
Yeah. But overall for that movie, I really liked Ted Levine's performance. I did. I liked his character.
He was hilarious. Like, he was a bit of a smart ass, and I liked that.
He was a smart ass, and he was a fucking gun freak, and...
He was like, I don't really fucking know, dude. Like,
I just write real fucking down novels.
I didn't really give you the drug, blah, blah, blah.
But I did give you the drug, or didn't I?
Oh.
I got drugs. So yeah.
Sponsored by Chipotle.
Pretty good-ish movie.
Score.
Score.
Out of what?
We've been doing out of 10, so...
Have we? Okay.
Yeah.
So what out of 10 would you give it?
I would give
For
it...
an indie kind of mix.
It was obviously a pretty low-budget movie.
It was pretty painful.
I would give it a 6. It's kind of below average because it didn't really have a good payoff, but it had good suspense throughout, kind of. I was intrigued. I didn't get bored.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, but the end was like, eh.
The end was kind of why.
It's just like, no horror movie. I have seen very few horror movies that have satisfying endings. It's more so like, it's always like, it's never over.
Well, Insidious is obviously, it's never over.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'd probably give it, I don't know if I'd be as generous as you. But I was half asleep, so maybe a 5.5.
5.5?
5.5.
So a little bit less than me.
Yeah. Just because I can't really give it a definitive thing since I was falling asleep halfway through it.
I couldn't mark it too far down because it was effectively made on obviously not that big of a budget.
Right.
I was surprised Zachary
still...
Quinto was a producer on there. The guy who played Spock in Star Trek, the new Star Trek.
The monsters weren't that great.
Yeah.
Demon-wise. And they weren't really banshees. So when I call it the Banshee Chapter, it's what I don't get. The Banshee is like... I don't remember the exact definition, but there was no banshees in this.
Yeah.
So, I didn't get it.
Maybe aliens. Maybe. I don't know.
It didn't really explain itself too much.
Yeah.
Besides, it's a drug that the government is
Turns
against
you into
everybody.
a receiver.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't receiver for what? Banshees or aliens or spirits? Like, pick one. It seemed like it bounced around a little bit. So, yeah.
Yeah. Next movie.
Next movie.
Doo-doo.
Dun, 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 dun.
So, The Devil's Past, starring more people we don't know.
No idea.
Directed by Rennie Harlan, who I recognized his name. Because he directed the second Die Hard movie.
And you were like, ew.
Yeah, I was like, ew, Rennie Harlan. Why is he making movies still? But yeah, so this one...
Disgusting.
Ew. This one was kind of all over the place at the start of it. It was like really switching between documentary and not documentary, and a guy editing the documentary while the documentary was being played. Like,
well, yeah, if you've seen the beginning of Chernobyl Diaries, kind of the found footage, a bunch of teens going to look for some shit.
in Russia.
In Russia, again, because Russia's a terrible place, apparently. I don't fucking know. It's kind of Chernobyl Diaries, except for a little bit more low budget.
Yeah. I was impressed with what they had. I mean, I think it was a higher budget than Banshee Chapter, definitely.
Oh, definitely.
Because they actually had some production value in there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was pretty much just like about, it was kind of a similar thing where it was like this group of documentary kids.
Well, she was the only documentary.
Yeah, researching.
The rest of them were like, one was a hiker and the rest of them just knew what to do with cameras.
Yeah. Researching this expedition that happened, I think, in the 70s in Russia.
Yeah.
Where a couple of the people on the expedition, well, all the people on that expedition either went... Froze in a mysterious way.
And they all pretty much died. No one survived.
Like
well, the only one survived, and he's
crazy. But yeah, so they go on the expedition, the same expedition, to see if they can find anything to explain it. Because like a couple of the people were killed without any like defensive wounds or anything. Like they
Two
just
of
got
them had
killed
their
and they
heads
just died.
crushed, and one had their ribs broken, and there were no bruises, there were no nothing.
Yeah, it was really
and one of them had radiation, which they couldn't figure out where that came from.
It goes off on that whole thing, and it's really that movie is a lot of build up. Like it literally takes more
But
than
it's
halfway through the movie before anything happens.
Bad
really.
build up, and that's what I didn't like about it, because
It's all character stuff, really. Like
well, it's not what I'm saying. I'm saying once they got to the evil things, it was retarded. It was like, wow, these things are just not scary.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
it was very CGI. It reminded me of I Am Legend.
Ew, yes. Gross.
Like because
Like,
they were
I
like,
Am
"Rah!"
Legend
like
with
they looked
a
like
little bit of maybe, like, I can't think of another movie that takes place in caves. Maybe. Not The Descent. Because The Descent at least had, like, less CGI. You've never seen that, have you? Okay. Bunch of lesbians go into a cave.
Sounds like the beginning of a joke. A couple lesbians walk into a
One
cave.
walks out, bloody and gory.
Oh, well, that's not a funny joke. What is that?
It's like I Am Legend with teleporting. Like,
Yeah, pretty much. It was really weird and strange.
It was not great
And
towards the back end.
didn't
It was
really make
stupid.
sense.
Yeah.
And it kind of tried to come full circle, but like
It
wasn't-
tried, like, it was a cop-out
it was
full
really
circle.
it was really hard, like forced like thing. It's just really stupid. I liked
Exactly.
the only thing I liked about it is it alludes to the fact that they are the ones who caused everything. Like I like the idea that they're investigating something they were indirectly involved in, which was kind of cool. I kind of liked that aspect, but I didn't like
But
it.
it was like this big stretch
Yeah.
of like this is how it really went down. And I'm like, well, that's a bit of a cop out. You guys couldn't figure out a better ending
Yeah.
than that.
But comparative to the Banshee one, it definitely higher production value. It had better sets, like it had that big long bunker set and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
it looked pretty good. And I mean, they filmed out.
Well, I mean, the set looked fine. The bunker and everything, and all the bodies that were all like different and things like that. I mean, it looked good until they added the creatures, and then
It really did go out the window there.
as soon as that happened, and as soon as they started fighting them, it was just the most stupid thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, well, because they established this big, long, slow crawl to like setting everything up.
Really
This is all pretty realistic and everything, and it's like okay, now they're being chased by like Russian like army people, and they're being shot at and stuff
Pretty
like
much
that.
the Russian government.
And then it's just like it turns into this weird like really again kind of a slow build in the bunker as well, but once it like goes off with the whole creatures thing,
Well,
then it just gets weird.
There's two things that I also have a pet peeve about, and you mentioned it and I mentioned it when we were watching it. First things first, the camera that this boy was holding, or man, or whatever you want to call him, was dying before they went through.
Well, I was
And
surprised
then, all of a sudden, it was perfectly fine, and the guys knew exactly how to use the fucking thing, and this was supposed to be in, like, backwards, like in time kind of thing, because that's the only thing I could come up with, was it went back in time.
Yeah.
So it's like, how the fuck do they know how to use a big camera like this? Two, they already kind of ruined the ending to the movie in the beginning, when they're like, oh, these people weren't ever found, we are looking for them. It's like, there's no point in watching it. It's already told. I mean, I figured they were gonna go missing because it was the kind of movie it was, but at least leave it up to like how or why kind of thing.
To the battery thing, like ever since, because they had lost all of their shit because of the avalanche, and
All but one camera.
yeah, and then but the thing is that battery, like the biggest thing was like that battery lasted a long time after that. Like not even after they said it was dying or whatever. It's like that camera probably should have died long, like
Way
before
yeah.
that they even got like in the bunker and all that
Well,
stuff.
it also shouldn't have worked going through the teleporter thing either. Personally, because it's electric type of stuff.
Yeah, you would think it would like magnetic fields or something like that would
Killed
fuck
it.
up. You know, maybe that's how the Russians got all technologically advanced like they are now. because of that camera going back in time.
That one camera, and they figured out everything else.
What is this camera? They didn't really say anything though. Did they say like, what is this or something like that? Like just the guy was
pretty
carrying
much
the
as soon
camera.
as the guys pulled the bodies, the two Russians that were standing over there like, what? You don't even know what happened. Like, why are you pulling him away? Blah blah blah. And the guy just walks over nonchalantly, picks up the camera, looks and goes, huh? And he starts videotaping like he knows what the fuck to do with it. It's like, okay. Like, he knows how to point and shoot, apparently.
He's no videotape in here, I don't understand.
Exactly. They never said anything about the camera, or the bodies, or anything. They just kind of went with it like it was just normal.
Yeah.
Which was weird.
Weird. Anyway, that movie.
Does that explain that Russians are weird, or...?
Probably.
No, I'm pretty weird, so...
You is weird. I don't understand. What is camera?
I don't know what
Is that camera?
I don't know.
What is this? So, Devil's Pass.
Out of 10?
Out of 10, what would you give it?
What would I give it?
Yeah. Gotta rate it at some point.
Oh, I'm gonna give it a better budget, I guess. Maybe a 6. Maybe.
Did you like it better than Banshee?
No. I think they both kind of...
You don't have to rate by budget.
Well, I'm not rating by budget, but like quality-wise, and like, I mean, the acting was kind of the same.
Acting was pretty good. It was decent.
It was pretty average, and it wasn't like they know it's a bad movie kind of thing.
It wasn't infuriating, the acting or anything. I wasn't watching going like, God, this doesn't make any sense.
This is a stupid lie.
You know how critical I can be to bad actors.
No,
in
I
movies.
know exactly how
So like,
you
those
are.
were fine.
Yeah. So I mean, acting, it was fine. Like, everything else was fine. It seriously killed it with the bunker scene and all the fighting of the monsters, because that was the most retarded thing I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen a lot of bad movies, bad horror movies, and that was terrible.
I'd probably give it...
What's that?
Probably a 5. 5 out of 10. I wasn't like it wasn't as interesting as the Banshee throughout. I mean, it was keeping my attention, but it wasn't nearly as like. It just wasn't as interesting, like going throughout. Like it didn't have that. I mean, the mystery wasn't as interesting to me.
I don't know, maybe the mystery was more interesting to me until I saw the monsters. As soon as I saw the monsters, but it reminded me a lot of Blair Witch. A little bit.
Yeah, it was pretty similar.
Like, the whole let me pretend not to say something, like, I just love his reaction when she's like, oh, by the way, we found a bunker. He's like, we've been sitting here for like 3 hours and there's somewhere warm we can be?
Yeah, he was pretty pissed. And rightfully so.
I was gonna say, but it was just
She
funny.
probably should have mentioned it the second the avalanche happened. Like, I know shelter!
She should have mentioned it, like, when they found
Well,
it.
I guess the only thing would be is that they fired the flare, and they would be waiting for rescue. Would be the only argument to that.
That avalanche was retarded. I don't know why. I wasn't, like, scared for my life with that. Like, I wasn't fearing for the characters.
Yeah.
Although I did find it hilarious when that girl died.
When she flew towards the camera and broke the camera.
Her face broke the
How
camera.
inconsiderate for her to break that camera.
The guy just left
Was she
her
still
behind.
naked at that point? Like,
Yeah, she was naked. She died naked, cold, and hit a camera.
Well, hopefully she died quickly.
So you said 5. I said 6.
That was Devil's Pass.
One of the two, I think it was made. Both of them were made last year. Because they both came out in 2013. I should say, not made in 2013.
Did you like Devil's Pass more than Banshee? Banshee Chapter?
I thought I would like Banshee more when I watched the trailer, honestly. Just because, like, I thought it was just going to be off of that one guy for the entire movie.
The Temple Dean dude?
Yeah. No. Is that right?
Ah.
No, the main guy, like the.
Oh, in the trailer?
That's what I thought. It was like it was going to be.
And then he
his...
died.
He died
really
instantly.
quickly.
It was ridiculous. I was like, okay, so what are they going to do for the rest of the movie?
Hello, I'm here. English girl.
Yeah. Because they made it seem like it was only around this one kid who took this drug, and it was like his entire whatever, and it wasn't. So the trailer was a bit of a lie, if you really want to say that. They only showed what they wanted to show, obviously, which is what a trailer does.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I think
Devil's Pass was better?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
So you're Devil's Pass a little bit. I'm Banshee.
Yeah.
More than a little bit, but you know, not crazy high.
Both monsters in them both sucked though. So
yeah.
So that's the thing is like I can get behind a movie if it has a really good monster.
And it didn't really explain a whole lot either.
Neither
like,
one of them
either
did.
of them at the end didn't really explain how something happened.
Or why something was happening. Like why the hell is a radio transmitting what it's transmitting?
Yeah.
And it made it sound like it was man-made, which they explained, but like the chemical is man-made, which if it's made by the government, it's all man-made, which is a duh. But like then they had that body that came back to life. Remember? Because like he was doing the brain surgery and it shocked him. And that's what was transmitting, I guess, all of the radio? Because they had that big tube.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they had the thing in the tube. I really don't
See,
know.
that one, that's where I lost. I was like, is she transmitting it because she's still alive and they gave her the drug? And it was all from the brain. Last time I checked, and I've looked up DMT, I don't think it's from brain chemicals, but I'm not sure. Anyway, so we've got our scores now. What did you want to do?
Leave questions for the next time we do this, so we can...
Yeah, we weren't going to go
Answer.
off of these questions just because they're old.
Yeah, well that and, you know, we did 2 movies and that always goes long. What was the length of the last one? An hour long? So
But that had A to Z.
26 different reviews of individual things.
Some terrible, some alright.
Some spidery, some...
And
weird
obviously, as I
Japanese
stated
dicks.
in my update, which should be, or not my update, my Q&A, which will go up probably in a couple days, is we obviously are still together. Hmm?
Love you.
Love you too.
Alrighty, well thank you for watching. Leave the questions down below about horror movie things, or just maybe movies in general, horror movie things.
Just movies and horror movies, whatever you guys want to ask.
Interesting questions. Fishy's trying to
Substantially useful questions, like we've said before, they give us something to talk about.
Not like what's the worst horror movie you've seen, or what's the best horror movie you've seen.
I'm tired of answering that.
So
Because I normally answer
interesting
that
questions.
from the actual review.
Yeah. So
Interesting, intriguing, things that make us think.
yeah.
Something like that.
Alright. Well thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
We'll see you next Liz and Dan review video.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.
Oh, we doing this?
Oh no.
We doing
It's
this?
gonna mess up the beanie.
I got a beanie too.
Batman beanie's better. It's
Mine-
his actually, I stole it.
That's true.
Because it doesn't fit your head.
My head's all Velcro-y.
Is it?
Like,
Ew. It's weird.
the first day I shaved this, it was sliding all around my head. And now it's like, it's hard to put on straight because I can't adjust it once it's on. I can't oh!
Oh, Jesus.
It's like Velcro.
Ew. Here, just put it on like...
Put it on my face. There you go. Alright, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next video.
Thug.